120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
'Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Oh yeah, it's time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk. I'm your host, J. Sam McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning we have in the house the two talk champions for the midday of the week. Humpback day. We got Kasike, and we have none other than the one and only Dr. Bowen. Dr. Bowen.
Good morning. It is an amazing morning. It's Wednesday. It's time to chat it up. So much going on. I know that on this week we are, for those that do, celebrating Good Friday. But I also want to note it's a sad time because this is the same time last year that my youngest brother Cameron Bowen was found non-responsive and pronounced dead. And so, you know, with all that's going on, it's a good day to actually be grateful for the gift of life.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Kasike.
Stan, good morning. Good morning, family,
Morning,
to all our viewers and listeners. And also today is the anniversary of my brother's death. So Dr. Maya, peace to all of our ancestors. Yes. And all the honor goes to our ancestors for all the sacrifices and all the doors that they opened for us, all the sacrifices that they made. So we're grateful for that. So it is a great day to be alive, to continue to make some change. And I want everybody that's listening and viewing us today to have an incredible week of, just feeling uplifted, feeling successful, feeling good about yourself. And definitely chime in into this morning's conversation because it's going to be hot. We got the fabulous Dr. Maya back. I'm excited because she bring the heat every time she comes.
I turned up the burners just a little bit today.
That's what's up, Dr. Maya. It's great to have you back.
Thank you. I missed last week, but I did tune in. It's just getting busy as it is that we come to the final leg of our race, so to speak, in terms of the semester. And so trying to make sure certain things are fine-tuned and most importantly, I'm fine-tuned enough to actually finish the finish line with a smile. Commencement is May 12th, so let's go.
Ooh, May 12th is the day, huh? Yeah, that finishes your year
yes.
your school year.
Woo, yes,
Your
yes,
academic
yes.
academic year, yeah.
Your academic school year.
Just before we even get to that mark, it's interesting because there's a lot of things that have to be done between now and then. However, we had a brief chat about the gift and art of saying no. And every semester, I find myself being swayed to say yes in order to get things done, which lends to a point that I'd like to make is that when there is very few people that will say yes to rolling up your sleeves to get things done, it's I want to say the requirement or the encouragement that's needed for others to actually join in on the activities and endeavors that need to be done to get things done, because we need more than just a few people to get this thing done. That thing being whatever it is that's on the table to get done or in the kitchen to get done. You gotta step it up.
You bring up a good point in terms of getting stuff done. You know, it's as though the people that are ready, willing, and able seem to be diminishing. There's some of them are out there, but I mean, we need more people to step up to the plate and do the heavy lifting. Take a team to lift.
Well, I'm gonna jump right in, Stan. I don't know what you and Dr. Maya are talking about, but I'm gonna tell you who's getting it done.
Who's getting it done?
It's the prosecutors in New York. They getting it done. So we spoke about this earlier when I first came on the show. I talked about the Great Awakening. I talked about the Great Judgment, and people kind of there was a lot of incredulence.
I remember
about my word.
I remember.
And now that this individual is being prosecuted, it should give the Connecticut people the impetus to go ahead and do what they got to do here to clean house with this Diamantis and these other people that were involved in some high-level corruption. So I'm very happy. I'm glad that we started this segment talking about getting things done. And I want to congratulate and salute the people in New York. And I think that Georgia's next. We're going to continue to prosecute Trump, not only Trump, but his supporters, the people that supported him, because I understand now that Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice, is under some scrutiny for his alleged involvement in some of Trump's chicanery. So let's talk about getting things done. And those are the type of things that I would like to see done in Hartford.
Well, whether you're for Trump, against Trump, in the neutral, what it does take, I think that's a pretty good example. It's going to take people like the prosecutor. See, when I say step up to the plate, I mean the people who are actually doing these things.
Well,
are
Stan,
few and far between.
When you say step up to the plate, anybody can step up to the plate. But are you stepping up to the plate and are you swinging? Well, see, we don't want to step up to the plate and take 3 strikes and then walk back to the bench. We want to step up to the plate and swing, because every swing is a potential hit.
Well, that's true, but I'm saying you talked about Diamantis here in Connecticut. Now, the people can be angry. They want to see justice. They want to see an end to corruption. But if you don't have the person to bring that fight, then and so that's what I mean. Those are few and far between, because you go all the way across country. I mean, once again, Trump's a great example. Look at all the people across the country who are trying to do something to neutralize Trump. And here's this one guy in New York. So, a lot of people have stepped up. They swung, they struck out. And here's this one guy on one small charge who's found a way to thread that needle. So those people are the ones we're talking about.
We need RICO in that. Just like in the Connecticut case with the Chris Dukes. And salute to Chris Dukes and his organization, the American Justice Project. They're doing good things out there. So it's the same thing. There's a group of people that are connected by who they work for. In this particular instance, the government. Whether it's individuals that work for different agencies, but they're connected. That's organized crime. That's the definition of organized crime. It's the same thing here with the Diamantes. And if they do bring that forth, we're going to see a lot of people that are going to continue to run, because all we need is for one of them to turn, and that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening in the Trump case. People don't want to go to jail; they're going to start spilling the beans. So we need that type of pressure here.
So what industry are we talking about here? In terms of Diamantes, is this construction, or is this some other type of industry?
It has to do with construction, because allegedly this gentleman Diamantes was in charge of giving out the contracts, government contracts to the cities. And evidently he was going around making demands. I'm going to give you this contract, but you have to hire this person, or you have to hire this company. And, not all of that was fine and dandy until somebody's daughter got a job in the state attorney's office. And then when they investigated that, they investigated other claims that people already have made but were being swept under the table.
Interesting.
Because it's hard for stuff to come out when, when I can't really accuse you of something because I'm doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So if they investigate you, they got to investigate me.
Exactly.
So that's why you have all these politicians that really don't. I mean, why aren't politicians all over the stuff all the time?
Well, part of the qualifier is you have to be somewhat corrupt. Can we depend on you to lie?
Absolutely.
Can we depend on you to lie? If we can no. To be welcomed into the club, you have to meet certain criteria. Certain political clubs, you got to.
And I agree with that.
So if we could depend on you to lie, then maybe we can help you get along.
Yeah, but that's why
I say
every show stand that I don't think that the current political electoral process in this country, as is made, it works good. Mm-hmm. But for us as black and brown people, we have to figure something else out. What does that look like? I don't know. I'd like to hear some ideas from people out there.
Yeah. Well, there's hope. There is hope in regards to that. And just to swivel back a little bit into the construction area, it brings to mind about the educational piece, where in construction, there's math, there's measurements that have to be made, right? And I start thinking about our awesome students and their math capabilities. And, if they get into a training program that encompasses construction and they can't pass a basic math test related to getting a really good start in a construction industry career, that is saddening to me. Right. So after 12 to 13 years of being in school, and you can't do some basic math related to getting a very good paying job, I'm disheartened by that. Right. I should not be graduating from high school and I can't do basic math, and go on and get a job. Now, case in point, just swiveling just a little bit more, McDonald's is now on a journey towards eliminating human beings from being a part of the service industry. They're bringing in the robotics, so I know
that was
earlier
destined.
this year,
That was destined.
I love this.
Last year I talked about this.
I love this topic, Dr. Maya, because I'm in the stores all the time asking. I'm in the stores asking the employees and black and brown people. I said, "What y'all doing? Why are you going in that line? You're taking your own job away. What? Is anybody thinking here?" And we have to let people know that that's not the way to travel.
It's bigger. It's bigger than that. Cause see, listening to how it is that things are being unpacked, and in our news media, and there's a various outlets. What you begin to see is that certain things are being revealed slowly, but they're happening behind the scenes. So, I was once given a thought, or rather something to think about in regards to not focusing so much on or being distracted by what the news actually provides is what they don't say that you should be more concerned about. And so as it is, the robotics replacing human beings is in full effect, even from the perspective that across the globe, in China, they've already gotten this started. In Japan, they've already got this process started. Next up, currency. What we know as our U.S. dollar and coin-based system. I'm telling y'all need to be
the attack on
point with
cash.
How it is that things are being unpacked right before our eyes.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. The part about the way that
the attack on cash.
The attack on cash. Yes, we could talk about that. But what we have to, I just want to say this: anything that is not natural is not good for us.
Well, most of the things we're involved with in life aren't natural.
Well, I just want to put that out there. I just want to put that out there.
It ain't natural to be on the air talking like this.
So yeah, but brother, we're using this in a different way. This is healthy. This is not hurting anybody.
Well, that's a great point.
I'm talking about using science to advance
all
Earth,
any tool
and everything inside of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. I keep talking about this.
Right.
Anything that's good for Earth is good for us.
Anything, any tool can be used for good or bad. Any system could be used for good or bad. So to me, change the users and the conscience of those who are using. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, well,
because you could change the system and then you get the same bad actors running the new system and they run it into the ground.
Well, let me put it another way. Anything that's automated, like these machines at the stores and the chips they're trying to put on our arms now and all of this other nonsense, that's not community. It has nothing to do with community. That has to do with money, not wealth. It has to do with money.
Profit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Profit.
Exactly.
Check
so
we
have to keep putting that out there, that it's an unnatural thing.
I think that's true. I think that statement in and of itself is true, but disconnected from what it affects. I mean, you gotta buy stuff. So we get rid of the machines. Eventually, there won't be no machine. All you'll do is you go pick up your item and leave. There won't be anything physical. It'll be QR code. It'll be some infrared device. It'll be go right to your phone.
Well, George Orwell and these other writers spoke about this then. Actually, I think you have it incorrect. I think what's going to happen is eventually is the elimination of the human race by machines.
Well,
I'm just telling you, that's far-fetched. But
it's not far-fetched. You need singularity, but I mean,
I'm just telling you, man. And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of it.
Listen.
100 years from now, people are going to talk about this. Yes.
Check this out. Have you ever seen the cartoon called The Jetsons?
Yeah, I've seen the Jetsons.
Right. So check this out. So
here's George Jetson.
Exactly.
Jane, his wife.
Daughter Judy.
His boy Elroy.
There we go.
Boy Elroy. Yeah.
We know the Jetsons.
Yes. Yes. So check this out, right? So in the Jetsons, one of the things that we're talking about is to the fact of the automation aspect of it, right? So how is it that they had the concept of the Jetsons, and whereby in 2023 and prior to 2023 we have sidewalks that actually move. So if you go to the airport, you can get on that skywalk that actually moves you from point A to point B. That they were doing that on the Jetsons before that actually impacted our actual airports.
People movers.
Right now, thinking about the technology in terms of automation, when it is that they actually had breakfast, lunch, or dinner, what did they do? Punch in a code, got a pill, and it was an entire meal.
We got that now.
I'm just saying.
But we got that now. I'm saying too.
In terms of the unpacking and integration of specific things that have been displayed within, let's say, the media or TV broadcasting, there is a whole world outside of what it is that we know about in terms of world, meaning scientists, engineers, and other individuals that are creating things that they're slowly introducing to society. Now, as it is that we are looking at automation taking over all McDonald's, this right here is a benefit for the school systems to actually go into curriculum redesign in terms of preparing students for being able to program the automation, as well as being able to fix the hardware associated with automation. So these are new job opportunities that are going to pay very well for individuals that have these skills currently. But as it is that more and more individuals with those skill sets are going to be needed, guess what? I'm bringing it back to math. I'm bringing it back to mathematics. Individuals are going to need to know how to at least do basic math in order to be able to secure a job in these respective careers and in the industry.
That's just one side of the coin, Dr. Maya.
Point that out.
I just want to point out that just one side of the coin. You hear me? That's just one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that these positions to fix these machines are going to pay a lot of money until the machines start fixing themselves. And then,
there you go.
Then what are the people that are making all this money going to do
very narrow
when there's going to no job for them?
It's going to be narrow. That's going to be very. I think that window is going to be narrow. Mm-hmm. Just a couple of years, because already AI is programming its own self.
Right.
So programming, you just speak into the mic what it is you want the function to be, and AI will assemble it, design it, give it voice, everything.
We walk around with AI all day, Stan.
Right. So you'll be the beneficiary. Right. So I think
of some of it.
I think that this winds up being in the Star Trek universe, if you will, with Gene Roddenberry, where everyone was free to do what they were called to do, and the society was more harmonious. They were freed from the constraints of having to do certain labor, free from the constraints of profit, because in the Star Trek universe, nobody is working because they have to work. They work because this is their gift.
That's an incredible white image.
That's not
an
white
incredible
image.
White image.
That's being in harmony with the things around you.
We want to have.
That sounds like real community. In harmony.
Indigenous.
So what is
about that?
So what? You don't live in harmony with the surroundings and the people around you. You don't contribute to the collective.
I live in harmony with some of them, but some of them are creating destruction around me, and I can't be in harmony with that, brother.
When do you say some of them, who?
I'm talking about the people around me. You say, am I in harmony with all the people around me? And I'm telling you with some of them.
In a harmonious society. Yeah. We're not there now, but if we're talking about a future we're going to get to, well, when we get there, let's have some harmony. You can't keep bringing up the thing we're trying to get away with, keep following us. We bringing it with us. I think we bring We bring this stuff with us more than anything else. Reminds me of the old adage in church circles, you know.
I think of
the preacher's down there preaching up a storm, all this other stuff. Folk are coming down for deliverance, and they coming down, and all halt and this, that, and the third. Preacher preaches out the whole sermon, and people are delivered, and the sermon is over, and folk are going out the door, and they say, "Oh, what's wrong? I forgot my burden." They run back down to the front, pick up their burden, pick up their wheelchair, pick up all the stuff they were delivered from, and take it out with them. And that's what we supposed. That's what we do. We talk about the deliverance, but then once we delivered from it, we feel too light, and we go run back, and we pick up our burden and take it with us.
Also leave it at the altar.
Right. So change comes when the headspace changes. Most of the stuff that messes with us is in the headspace. And no one can take care of that except ourselves.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying is, I envision a world where we have less machines and more psychic powers to do some of these things on our own. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like some X-Men stuff like that.
I imagine
psychic
us
powers
evolving.
is headspace. That's all in the headspace.
I imagine us evolving more in that manner where we have more. We become less mechanical, more spiritual, and more connected to Earth and to the universe. Because as we live more, as we evolve, our understanding is going to become greater of the things that we need to do to really connect. Because right now, a lot of that stuff is lost by the foods that we eat, by the things that are told to us, and the things that are not told to us in terms of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So we're not evolving as fast. As long as we still thinking about war and stuff like that, and who's the strongest, we're not evolving at a very fast rate. That's still very much that is animal, really
the animal in us. That's true. Yeah. Stick and stay, folks. We'll be right back. It's Morning Talk, and we'll be right back. Short break.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It's time to clear the air and vote for a mayor that is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. McCauley, and I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience and vote for the name you trust and know. Vote J. Stan McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, we're back. It's Morning Talk. J.C. McCauley. There they are, the Talk Champions. We got Jonathan Small on Mondays, Dr. Bowen and Kasike every Wednesday, and of course Cleo Duke Wright, and we have the Maestro. That's a professor, Jay Hogart, down at Wesleyan University. And
Hogart, yes.
yeah.
Grooving with them tunes.
So welcome back, folks. Welcome back. So let's continue the chatting it up.
Yes, listen. So when it is that we're talking about this automation process becoming part of the new wave of thinking, my thoughts are that many of the aspects of the automation, even if it is that robotics will actually correct itself or repair itself, rather, that's the terminology, repair itself, it can only do that based on human beings actually applying the instructions, right? Once it is that we cross over into the artificial intelligence whereby they're programming themselves, then we're going to have an iRobot movie in real life playing out before us, if it is that any of those robots become rogue.
It's already done. It's already happening.
Yeah, there's been some accounts
online
about robots killing employees, human workers, because they, dysfunction or malfunction. So that kind of stuff is already out there, like Stan stated.
Well, they had a special the other day. I think it was on PBS. But anyhow, I can't remember where it was. But it had to be PBS because I don't have cable. That's not true. I have cable in this room, but we don't have cable in the rest of the house. So it had to be like PBS evening news, like news hour type stuff. But the AI was the guy that was doing the report. The AI did a report, and it constructed his face and came up with, like, he was talking to himself, and the AI was answering the question off the cuff. Wasn't like, the program, the base program is done. After that, it's just going. Well, it could create a whole image of, so you could be watching the news, and it's not a human being; it's something projected. Now, in cyberspace where everything is now, you wouldn't know if you were in a Zoom meeting with someone or whether the person was an artificially generated individual.
Well, I think that for anybody who's listening and watching, I just want to point something out to all of you, to my co-hosts. Artificial
ain't natural.
Do I need to say anything else? Artificial.
Right.
Okay? That means that it's, like Stan said, it's not natural. That means that it's not good for us.
Well, we know it's not good for us. But
and if it's not good for us, it's not good for the earth. And vice versa. So we have to be careful. We have to learn to use all of this stuff in a way that it kind of blends in almost seamlessly with whatever's going on already. It doesn't disrupt the natural order. I'm going to keep saying that.
There's a dynamic here that's at play, where the powers that be, those that have the wealth and status and influence to get things done, especially in this space of automation, that will actually impact us as a society from the perspective of their moral integrity, right? The level of morality, their level of value for human beings in general. And so as we see in 2023, the types of diabolic plays on destroying human lives in the media, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You know, it's a wild dynamic to add AI into this mix, because if it is that I can have an artificially generated image of myself, I can literally be in two places at one time. Switching it up just a little bit, there's reports that rapper Jay-Z as well as Eminem have had artificial intelligence mimic their voices and spit some bars, and somebody caught that and they had to pull the plug, because where it is that you have
lip syncing artificially.
Impending or on.
Is it real or is it Jay-Z?
Real. It's artificially generated.
Is it real or is it Memorex?
Like it sounds like the real thing, right? So it's going to impact how it is that people make money in a lot of different ways, when it is that you can't tell the real from the fake.
Well,
let me update you. Let me update you on that, Dr. Maya, just in case they doing that already. You don't know what you're buying. So you don't know what you're buying right now.
Kasike, that's my point.
Right.
That's my point. But as it becomes more and more prominent to do, we're going to be in a society where we don't know who's who.
So let's break that word down a little bit.
Right now, and it's not real, and it's been happening. You're absolutely right.
So
let's break that down a little bit. Let's break that word down a little bit, though. Artificial. I heard somebody say not real. Stan McCauley. I heard Dr. Maya say it's fake or something like that, right?
I said fake. I used the word fake. That's
right.
correct.
Okay. So now, that means that we shouldn't really be messing with that too much. But I want to go back to a subject that we touched on.
Right.
I want to go back to a subject we touched about a little while ago, because it has to do with everything that we're talking about. I think Stan said something about an attack on the American dollar.
No, I didn't say attack on the American dollar.
Okay, what did you say?
I said the attack on cash. Cash is not American. Cash is any electronic currency.
No. Cash is cash.
Right.
Cash is American.
Cash is not.
Cash is
there was
the
cash before there was the United States. Let's not make everything American.
No. But the way that is used here.
Right. But when I say the attack on cash, I'm not talking about the attack on the U.S. dollar. I'm talking about a worldwide electronic currency. So cash will be, it doesn't matter whether you're in Germany, whether you're in Luxembourg, whether you're in Zimbabwe, Ghana, it doesn't matter where you are. Everything will be done digitally. That means that if you have a business that is cash based, where you trade with cash, you out of business.
Well, here's a part of artificial intelligence that I actually like. And I think we have to move away from some of the things that we do now, because when you do business electronically, right, there should be a system in place that you can trade with anybody anywhere in the world fairly.
You can do that right now.
No.
Yes.
How you do it
Absolutely.
right
now? Absolutely. You can exchange. Like I could exchange my labor for something else with somebody.
That's bartering.
It's you call it whatever you want, but you're in control of it. When we talk about removing cash, it's not like that's being done for our benefit.
Yeah.
That's done to control you, and I'm not openly welcoming the removal of cash, whereby everything is electronic, because when you say it's to remove one system that's bad, and I'm not a fan of championing the removal of a system simply because it's bad. With what are we going to replace it with?
Well,
generally, it's worse.
Why do you think you have to remove it? Why can't it be an addition to?
But they are removing cash. You said you like that.
No. I said I like the idea of us having a system in place where I don't have to trade. Like if I have, let's say I have American dollars or I have gold, right, on my card, and I'm going to buy something from China, that transfer will automatically happen with that
now.
card.
That happens now.
No, I can't buy Chinese products with in China with my American card.
Most of what we have is
That's
Chinese.
because it's
I
China,
understand that,
but
but it's coming. I'm talking about directly. I'm not talking about buying
you
it
can do
at the
that.
stores or whatever. A lot of that stuff you can't
can
do.
that because there's a way. So
And I
let me-
can't
let me-
buy
let me-
stuff-
Let
listen.
me flow in. Let
Yes.
me flow in on this cloud here.
Yes.
So, based on how it is that the system of software development related to currency is being applied in general, because it is that the instructions provided for transactions to occur are embedded within the software. The transaction that you speak of, Kasike, is actually being converted in terms of the currency based on location, right? So you could make that transaction actually happen at this present day because there is a software application that has instructions for conversion of currency to allow that to happen. Now, with that being said, even going forward and then now bringing it back into a local dimension or area, if we take Hartford, for example, if it were that Hartford is going to start using facial recognition. Oh, wait a minute. I did see that at a Hartford.
No, they're just preparing for it.
Yes. So in the terms of the AI being implemented, AI is biased. They've come up with a lot of different results in terms of the biases that
that's
are
true, but that's not gonna.
inherent
That
to it,
won't be like that forever.
Right,
The AI
right.
will develop where
Fine
it'll
tuning.
recognize anybody.
But right now it's
Exactly.
dangerous for black and brown
Fine-tuning.
people.
Yeah, if the AI is if the facial recognition is looking for people to target and shoot, it's dangerous for black people.
Yes, indeed.
Actually, it would be safe for black people because it doesn't recognize black folk. That's the problem. It doesn't see you. So how is it dangerous? It doesn't recognize who you are. The system is not based on the system is more based on the Eurocentric facial structure. So non-European faces, AI has a hard time identifying.
Right now.
That's not dangerous. That leaves you out the grid.
beneficial.
That's beneficial. Now, if it was based on, African, Asian facial structures, then you'd have a problem. But in China, where they have facial recognition, it works real well because their algorithms aren't set for Euro standards.
Right.
And then the technological advancements in China are working very well. They're very well advanced. They're not like the United States.
This is true.
So the AI is just a tool, and the danger of the tool is not the problem. It's who's operating the tool. A baseball bat in the hands of a professional can hit a ball outside the park. A baseball bat in the hands of a homicidal maniac can be dangerous to everyone in the room. So it's not the baseball bat that's the problem. It's the headspace of the person holding the bat. We want to blame everything except the real culprit. The individual's headspace. That's the problem. The problem is not that we need to introduce the thought police, but we're just about there now. If you don't think right, you're going to be canceled. So the thought police have been dispatched in mass control. So who's controlling what you think and who's punishing you for what you think? That's the danger. Because all the rest of this stuff, they're just tools. Systems are tools. They are of no value depending upon who's using them. Now, you talked earlier about RICO. RICO is a set of laws. They are tools. But who's using the tools? They're not going to use the tools on themselves. They should be, but they don't.
Well, I think we have to keep pointing out that that's one of the tools at their disposal that they have not even, considered using. So we have to keep that alive. I think in the Chris Dukes case, I think it's a really good case for RICO to be used because it's all state employees. They kind of railed against them.
Conspiring.
Yes, they all conspired against them. And, I think that has to be looked at.
Would that be more of a conspiracy than RICO?
Rico,
says the uneducated. I don't know nothing about RICO.
RICO is
so
conspiracy
I'm gonna sit here
because they conspired as a group.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is that you can conspire individually, or you can and so RICO is when you conspire as a group. That's what RICO is.
So could you? I'm gonna push the envelope real. I'm gonna push people right off the edge of the cliff. So. Could you use RICO in the miseducation of children?
Absolutely.
Could you say that there's a conspiracy,
Absolutely.
Or if it's not a conspiracy, then it's intentional?
Listen,
because the outcome is because of an action here, you get this outcome. So if kids graduate and can't read, could you use RICO for that?
That's an incredible point. But let me say this: history will also show that all black and brown people who are educators and legislators at some level have supported white supremacy and racism as we stand right now. History will show that. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way that the laws and the education system is set up. You know what I'm saying? Because the more we talk about it, I don't want to...
Are they unwitting accomplices, or are they?
Well, when you have knowledge,
are you suggesting that they're?
When you have knowledge, you are not an unwilling, because you have knowledge. So now you're making a conscious and a willful decision to participate in something that you have information that is, that's not good, that is incorrect, that is illegal, that is corrupt, whatever it is, but it's not good. So now you're no longer an unwilling participant. You know what I'm saying? Because you have information now. And the least you can do is investigate and follow up on that and see what really is happening. You know what I'm saying?
People secure financial gain in the process of miseducating youth. That would be RICO.
I mean, people make money.
That would be RICO.
In these shootings that we're having, look who's making money. It's the security industry. Security consultants, the people who have
I think
the metal detector things at the doors.
Right, well, they may be.
They hype it up.
I think that they may be making money off of capitalizing on something, but it's not like they're planning these events so that they can make money.
Now that these things are, people, most Americans don't know this. But there's a mass shooting in this country damn near every day.
Well, there's killings. There's people getting hit by cars every day, too.
Right, but people get hit by... And incidentally, I just want to send out my condolences to the Prince Tech's fabulous coach, Kendall May, who was hit by a car. Mm-hmm. It was a hit and run. And the brother passed. My condolences to the Kendall May family, the May family. On behalf of the cacique and his tribe, the La Tribu Coqui, our condolences, yes. But yes, Dan, people do get hit, but a mass shooting is more than one, and it's something that's planned. It's something that's planned.
Mass shootings, while they may be planned, are in the headspace of the shooter.
I understand that, and I hear you. But it's different, and I'm just pointing out that most Americans do not understand that there is a mass shooting in this country damn near every single day.
Right, so
there's a shooting where more than one person, multiple people are shot and killed every day.
Right. So
it's in our schools.
So we need to rethink how we do what we do. To me, what comes off the assembly line is because of what's going on downstream. When that purple car comes off the line, someone intended for there to be a purple car. Or the car is supposed to be orange, but something's wrong in the paint mix. So we have to analyze why. We keep talking about mass shootings. We keep talking about all this stuff. We talk about everything in this country except the things that we don't want to talk about. And until we start addressing mental health, like we do all kinds of other health, none of these things are going to go away. We want to blame the gun. We want to blame what was a level of security. Well, we guard our money, but we don't guard our children. They talk about everything except the fact that Uncle's sitting up here at the Thanksgiving dinner don't have clothes on. So they ignore that. Every Thanksgiving, they ignore that. Uncle isn't the one with the problem. Everybody else got a problem. Unc is fine. Hey, Unc, you look good. No, you don't. You don't have any clothes on. So no, they avoid the obvious. We have real problems in this country with mental health. And the first line of defense for mental health in this country is denial. So rather than to get people the help they need, a crisis happens in their head that they don't process as wrong because something is out of step. And they walk into a school and they shoot little children. That is not normal behavior under any circumstance. Then they find out, oh, this person's been planning this for half a year. Oh, there's red flags over here, red flags over there. Oh, they said this when they came into the building last time. Well, at what point do all of these cries for help fall on an ear that cares? People don't care about one. They just care about themselves. Well, that's headspace. They gotta get their head together.
I just want to point out a couple things. The first one is that most of these shootings are done by white people, and it's white men. Okay, and white people and black and brown people, we have different types of mental health. It's the same. It could be, we could both, you could suffer from anxiety, Stan, and a white man can suffer from anxiety, right?
Well, if white people suffering from anxiety go into schools and shoot them up, then we need to get them help. Not just simply say that it's white people.
It's a different type of anxiety.
We need help,
in this country suffer from something called racial battle fatigue.
Help them.
Please become familiar with that term. Because
right.
we suffer from this every single day, even when we're in a group of ourselves.
Now
we suffer from that.
And are you sidestepping my issue? Are you deflecting?
Which one? There's a lot of them I try to sidestep, man. What's up?
Are you sidestepping the mental health issue?
Listen, let me say this. First of all, I suffer from mental health. And I've had my own journey. I suffer from clinical level anxiety. Mm-hmm. I have PTSD. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so I've learned to deal with that. And I'm a big proponent of resources for mental health. But more than anything, black and brown clinicians and therapists for black and brown people. And I'll tell you why. I said this story on the air before. Mm-hmm. I was going to see a therapist. I was having good results with her. Mm-hmm. And then she left and I got a white man. I was a little bit nervous when I got in there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he asked me a couple questions. Then he asked me where I was from. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm from the island country called Puerto Rico. And he said, where is that at? And I said, sir, I'm afraid you won't be seeing me.
Ever again.
Ever. And he said, why not? I said, well, you don't even know where my country is. How you going to help me? You don't know my customs, my traditions, my culture. So, we need to make sure that those kind of things are also part of the conversation.
That's a very, very important part of the conversation. And the only person that has the power to actualize what needs to be done is you. You did exactly the right thing. I'm not saying that because you need to hear me say it. I'm saying that for the audience's sake. You have to be the one to determine what you need. You sitting there listening to somebody tell you something that didn't make no sense. You automatically this is not the person for me.
Or he may need
so
more
you
help
leave.
Than you. They might need more help than you.
Absolutely. Just because they're sitting in because you're in a psychiatrist's office and they're sitting on the other side of the desk, don't mean they got their stuff together.
You better believe it, man.
True.
They have headspace issues too.
But I know we're getting ready to go on a break, Stan.
The case can be made for an individual in any position, right?
Yeah.
Because someone is a college professor doesn't mean that they are great at it. Just because someone is a teacher in the Hartford Public School System doesn't mean that they are great at it. It's the position that they applied for and got into, but that doesn't mean that they're carrying out the tasks that need to be carried out in that position. And one size does not fit all. So cultural competency is absolutely relevant and necessary in terms of making sure that solutions are put together for the audiences that we quote unquote entertain, hence the students that we are educating. I don't want to say teaching, because educating and teaching are two different things.
Two different things. All right, my friends, stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. A little bit more of Jay Hogarth's newest project, Stick and Stay. We'll be right back.
Are you ready? Coming Friday, May 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. is the Season 1 finale of Hartford's Got Talent at the famous Bushnell Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Talent of all ages compete for $15,000 in cash prizes and awards. Don't miss it. Hartford's Got Talent, Friday, May 5th at the Bushnell in Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford's Got Talent, showcasing talent and connecting community. For more information, visit www.hartfordsgottalent.org.
How do you define evil? Is evil the pedophile school administrator or taxation without representation? Is it the gatekeeping community leaders who sell out the very people they were elected to fight for? Or is evil the politician that puts out lies and takes in cash? However you may classify evil, having to choose the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. Nowhere does this rule apply more than during an election for mayor. Choosing a candidate who is the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. No wonder so many people don't vote. It's time for the constituents to flip the script and vote for a mayor you can trust. My name is Jason McCauley. I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, in the Democratic Party primary election for mayor for the city of Hartford. I, like you, am an independent thinker. So let's sit down and talk about my path to victory and why my 5-point plan for Hartford will work. Stop listening to the uninformed evil interests that tell you I can't win. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Have the courage to vote your conscience. Vote for the name you trust and know. Vote McCauley for mayor.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Turn that down. Get a little feedback here. There we go. All right, let's take some good mornings. We don't never do this. Is there people be tuned in? People be tuned for the Ebonically Challenge. We have a lot of viewers.
That's beautiful.
Margot, Tracy, Jean, Margaret, Mr. Royster, Brother Royster's out there. Brother Chris, Victor.
Is that Cleve Royster?
Yes.
That's my brother, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Cleve. Hey, I just want to say something real quick before we jump in. I seen a commercial twice now that bothered me a lot on TV, and I'm just going to say something about it, and we can go back to our stuff. But it's a commercial from, I guess, some Jewish organizations talking about how hate crimes are up on the Jewish community. And I just want to say that I'm really disappointed in that, because I've never heard any Jewish person put a commercial together and talk about all the crimes that are happening every day against black and brown people.
We need to do that.
All right? But they need to do that too, because they want our support. So if you want our support, then you support us. That's all I'm saying, okay?
All right.
And then you talked earlier about changing the way we do things. That's been my theme all along. And I want to go back to the police real quick. And I think we ask the police to do way too many things that have nothing to do with police work. And we have to look at that. And I think Hartford is a city that can do with about 300 police officers, because then you put the money that you use for the other 300 officers, and you hire some mental health professionals to kind of tag along or pull up on the scene before the police do, right, and bring that balance and bring that humanity back. And that's just an idea.
That's a good idea. I think that's worth talking about.
That I floated out there, but it wasn't my idea. I got this idea from other people that have tried stuff like this in other cities, and they've had a lot of success.
I
wanted to just put these two little things out there, because as you get older, you forget, and I think they're important, and I didn't want to forget.
All right, well, you're not that old. Your mind's still working.
No, it's pretty good, man.
I think there's some merit to that idea and the notion. To me, community, it's a whole lot more than these three things, but I like to sum it up. My executive session of community: self-sustaining, self-educating, and self-policing. If the community polices itself, we don't have to spend any money on police.
Right.
Because the community will police itself. So if you have a community where lots of money is being spent on policing you don't have a community. And if the education isn't coming from your community, but people are coming in to educate you don't have a community. And if you can't sustain your community, that means, like, the money goes around like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times in your community. If that's not, you don't have a community. If the money comes to you and then you spend it back out, you don't have a community. And you have a lot of chaos.
Squatters.
Well, not squatters. You're occupied. You're in an occupied zone. So it becomes a U.S. military operation. Containment. So we have a war on poverty. That means we got to contain poverty. We got a war on drugs. We got to contain drugs. We got a war on crime. We got to contain all in where? Your community. So we need the police to do that. And the police ought to come from your community. You have to police your community. Other communities are policed by their own. We need to step up to the plate with people who are going to say, look, I'm going to be a law enforcement officer. I'm going to be a peace officer that cares about my community. I see you got a little mental issue, brother. I'm here to help you. Okay? The peace officer should be there to help. We talk about, well, we need social service workers or mental health resource workers to tag along with the police, because we're not changing the way people police. The way we police is wrong. So if we change the way we police, then we wouldn't need the police to have monitors with them. They would care like they do in other communities. They're not talking about changing the police in other communities.
That's facts.
Because they police correctly. And it's our community. You got people serving on city council who sit in the seats of public safety chairs and let the police do whatever they want. Whose fault is that?
Well, they do business as usual.
That's the people you was talking about sitting up on the hill that know but won't do.
Right. However, also while we're on this topic, none of the words that you use to describe all of the things that police do are community or are they safe, because they have to do with the military, and the military has to do with war. And there's no way that any kind of military warlike term should be used when you are policing the community.
Absolutely right.
So I just want to put that out there.
That's absolutely right. Can you? I actually have this on videotape. One of the things I have so much stuff on tape, it's almost criminal.
That's good. That's all history. That's all history.
have.
You need to open up a museum, Stan.
And you know what the best part about it is, Stan? That I keep talking about this all the time, everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this tape, and that's history through the eyes of a black man.
That is true.
Well, I
and
know
the
it's
perspective
true.
is.
And I know it's true.
And we are
it's
unapologetic about it.
So we are, what I always say, our history must be told by us. It must be written by us and then told by us.
I was living on Enfield Street, and I can't remember the street that was right down from me. There's, I look out my window, I'm looking down the street, but I can't think of the name of that street. Long story short, the police had pinged the guy, cell phone. They rolled up. They literally had everything except a helicopter and a boat. If this had been on the waterfront, they'd have had a boat.
It would have had the USS Atlantic. Some kind of big super Navy vessel.
They had like the 6-wheel vehicle.
Yeah.
They had. I mean, it was like
satellite.
It was like a drill or something.
Satellite stand. The satellite was on.
I mean, and they was rolling up in there deep, like they were going into some sort of, like there was 50,000 terrorists in the building.
Yeah.
The dude wasn't even in there, huh?
It was one person. It was just one person.
I guess they was ready for there to be 50 people, but there was no one in there.
Wow.
I have it on tape.
All that manpower, resources, lost money.
It was an exercise. And so, of course, this was in the north end of Hartford. It was off of Enfield Street. Now, mind you, there had been a couple of shootings and stuff like that. And someone had flipped their car on that street, a couple of days earlier and stuff. But that's not a reason to terrorize a community.
No, but that's what they do
with a military-style exercise.
Right.
Because you can't do that in West
and
Hartford.
Their pride is their pride.
You can't do that in West Hartford.
They're so proud of that. So proud of that. And then the black and brown people that are involved in these operations, that none of them have enough sense to say, listen, we can't do this like this. This is not right. But we do have, and then they keep patting themselves on the back. I remember the president of the New York Police Union made a video about how the police are being treated bad and they're filmed everywhere and they're being unjustly judged and this and that. And I think it was 3 days later he got hauled off. He got hauled off to jail for stealing money from the police union. So yeah, and I think at some point in our lives, man, all of us, we have to stop defending wrong. But first you have to recognize that you're wrong, because otherwise, if you think you're right, you're gonna keep doing it. So we're gonna go right back to
wrong has to be pointed out, because generally speaking, people who are knee deep in wrong, while they may have a sense that what they're doing is wrong, they're not gonna admit it unless they have some sort of life change.
But we're gonna
they got to be pointed out to them.
Go right back to Dr. Maya, because I think that education
Is he deflecting?
And training. No, I'm not. I just want to
messing.
roll back.
I'm just messing with you.
No, she said she wanted to. She has something to say about education, and
all right,
so I want to roll it right back. I'm going to say that.
Coming in my direction, so it's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
The pendulum has swung back to you,
Yeah, we're
Dr.
gonna bring it
Bowen.
right back to you, sister. Come on.
All right. So before we went to break, we were talking about there's a difference between education and teaching, and so I want to throw a question out. But then I want to also give a description of the two in terms of educating versus teaching.
It's almost like Jeopardy.
Yes. So we'll take education for 1,000 Alex. All right. So here's the question. Does Hartford Public School Systems do the following? I'm going to provide the description. So teaching is going to be focused on the transmission of information in a structured and formalized setting, such as a classroom. Whereas educating can be in a variety of contexts and it is going to be concerned with fostering personal growth and cultivating critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. Here's the question again. Which of the two does Hartford Public School System do in general?
Neither one. They prepare our kids to take tests that have nothing to do with real life living, you know? That's what they do.
Interesting. But you gotta choose one. Which one do they do in general? Teaching?
They
Or
teach.
educating?
They teach. They're not educating our children. They're teaching.
I reject the premise of the question.
Yeah. But I'll answer it. I'll answer it on the.
Stop. That was mean. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. I'm
No, but
sorry.
I'm gonna-
That was mean. That was a dig,
I'm
and
gonna
I
play
shouldn't
her
have done
game,
that.
Stan. I'm gonna
I've
play
heard
her
that
game.
one before.
I'm gonna play your game. They're teaching because they're imparting information that is probably most of the time useless. They're not educating. They're not building them up. You know how many kids I've personally, when I worked in the system, had to chastise teachers about telling kids they're not going anywhere, you know, they're no good, you know, stupid things like that. And, you know,
That's happening daily, sadly.
I know that.
And not just Hartford Public School Systems, but a lot of different school systems, right?
And
So
but
you send your kids. So check this out. You send your kid to school to individuals that become their quasi guardians. But little do you know the type of conversations that are actually happening in these classrooms, in the buildings in general, right? And so when your child comes home frustrated and really and truly not really into the whole schooling thing, then there's a bigger question that needs to be asked. And really and truly it starts with hopefully unpacking some things with your child in terms of what they're experiencing during the day, right? So that's where that communication piece from the premise of the family comes into play. It's a lot of things going on where you want to understand why it is a lot of students are truant.
They don't like school.
Check out who it is that they go to 5 days a week, and figure out what those conversations that are being had within that environment are, and you'll find out that, you know, there are kids that are bullying kids, adults bullying kids, adults bullying adults. It's an unseemly environment. So in terms of it being a place where a child may become disinterested, there's a lot of variables at play there that could be why it is that many of the students become truants and are chronically absent. Just saying, just from observation. Okay, so it, you know, unpacking that is something that's going to be essential, and getting a better sense on how to come up with some strategies and solutions on getting students back into the building, and really having an understanding that the adults that are their guardians for the day, duration of the day, actually do care. And I'm not saying that they're not some that are actually in those positions, but it's not enough. In terms of community, when you go in and they become your guardians, everybody's got to care. It can't just be a small portion of the adults that care. Everybody's got to care. And the kids are our future, and we should value them as such, so that it is that they can reach out and have that baton passed to them to be positive and productive individuals, rather citizens of our city. So that's my 25 cents.
Well, Dr. Maya, that was beautifully stated. I think that we have to continue to search, like you always say, for solutions, for answers to our problems. What I would contribute to this conversation is that I am always interested in experimenting with indigenous and Afrocentric processes and systems to, illuminate some of the things that we go through that seem to be in the dark for us. So, but definitely always looking for answers, and looking for answers, to fit my needs and my community's needs, not the answers that have been pre-prescribed, because the problems are also pre-prescribed.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic when you start to really think about the solutions that we're seeking. If it is that individuals really took the time and subtracted out the currency that yields to be their salaries from the equation, identifying who really does care in terms of being a organizational fit for a community, per the adults actually being, again, they're quasi guardians, right? So because I, as a parent, send my child into the school, I am expecting to get my child back unharmed
and educated,
right?
And
educated,
and knowing more than they did when they got there.
I just want to say this,
you.
Dr. Maya, to kind of piggyback on everything that you've been talking about, and Stan, you also spoke about this, but I think that mental health, going back to that, is something that we should be looking at in our children, in their 3 to 5, 3 to 7, 3 to 10, whatever, because like I said earlier, a lot of black and brown people, we have mental health, but it's different than white people, right? A lot of white people are born with mental health. A lot of black and brown people acquire mental health through racism and the way that they're treated.
Well,
And I know there's room for debate there,
right.
brother.
All right.
I don't have a problem with that, but I'm just saying, right, a lot of the issues that we have with our work and with our housing and stuff, this is not anxiety. A lot of times is not something that you're born. You could be born with it, but a lot of us develop that through the constant racial stuff that we go through every day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
so I think that mental health should be introduced as a subject early on in education, so our children can learn about that, and then we can.
Oh, I think that mental health is something that you should have. It to me, we don't do education on heart and on throat, ear, nose, and throat, and all that. I mean, we have basic health education.
That ain't got nothing to do with
mental
instructions.
Mental health is something that should happen just like your physical. Your annual physical, if you do annual physicals, mental health should be as much an integral part of your physical exam as your eye exam or going to the dentist. It's not like a subject in school where we talk about mental health. Your brain is part of your body. It's an integral part of your body, but we treat it as though there's stigma around mental health, which is the main reason why no one talks about it.
Mental health is one of the big four taboos, Stan. The big four.
But it shouldn't be.
But what are they? What are the big four?
In terms of topics?
Taboo, yeah. That people really
don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say politics, God. In terms of subjects you're supposed to stay away from?
The big four, yeah. What are the big four?
I have to say I don't know. I could guess, but I don't know.
You got them.
Okay, so God,
it's mental health,
God, politics,
politics, religion.
Right. And I would say sex.
That's right, sex. Those are the big four. So not only, well, the reason that we don't speak about them is because they're taboo. Taboo says that they're, you're not supposed to talk about it, right?
They're only taboo because someone in the position that sets policies and conversations said they are.
But that should be wide open for our children so they can learn about their bodies and they can learn about themselves.
Yeah.
They learn about other people. When you learn how your body works, when I learn how my body works and I look at you and I look at Dr. Maya, I know exactly how most of your stuff works. Especially you, because you're a male like me. But I have an idea of how Dr. Maya functions. You know what I'm saying? And so we need to learn these things. And it's part of that connectivity that we have lost as people. We shouldn't be, I want to say this one more time, we had nothing to do with the invention of this language that we're using right now. So no matter how much you think you know it and how well you think you know it, you don't know it like the people who invented it. I guarantee that.
Well, if we take it back historically, everything started on the continent of Africa.
Right.
But you ain't heard that from me. Now,
Right.
I want to add 2 additional.
This language didn't start in Africa. I guarantee
But
that.
this land is not the center of the known universe, Lou.
Right.
We
So
can't
two-
keep making it as though it is.
Two additional taboo topics would be death and finances, right? So in regards to encompassing, let's say, the 6, there is definitely conversation that needs to be unpacked so that individuals take it out of its taboo silo, right? And as we grow as individuals and as community, these things need to become part of the conversation in order for questions to arise and actually get some semblance of answers to, in order to really and truly, again, just grow ourselves as individuals in terms of shaping our community. Because without the conversation, whether it be in English or some other language, we are going to be in trouble. So an unasked question is going to be a unanswered question. And so speaking in whatever language it is that is your primary, because English is my primary, I can't say that I know everything about the English language, but I know how to get the definitions for specific concepts, words. And then again, got to add into it the context, because the way that you say something related to an event could be taken out of context, which lends to whether or not individuals are actively listening, as well as asking some follow-up questions in order to relate it to the context in which it was delivered in terms of your message. So there's a lot of things that need to be taken into perspective when it comes to our communication. It's not just the speaking part, it's also that active listening and those follow-up questions. So we got a lot of growth to do in terms of us developing ourselves to get to that quote-unquote perfect stance. But the journey continues.
Beautifully stated, Dr. Maya. I'm so happy that you're back, bringing that beautiful female energy that I love so much, because I was raised by a woman, so I honor all women. All women to me are queens and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? So I love your energy. I love your knowledge and everything that you bring. And I just want to shout out all our sisters out there today that's making it happen for us, opening doors, making sacrifices, and making it happen. No excuses. I love that. We just had that sister that just got promoted to fire chief, the first black woman in Connecticut. What an outstanding accomplishment for that. See,
Absolutely.
women.
And they honored her in Massachusetts as well. So I'm watching Boston 10 News.
Well, she needs to be honored across the country. But I just want to say this.
History.
One of the greatest leaders that I know of, his name is Pedro Albizu Campos. And he said that without our women, there will be no revolution.
Well, that is true.
So let's keep that out in front. Without our women, there will be no revolution. Because the women are the real warriors in our community. They're the ones that hold it down. So I want to salute each and every one of our women out there today. Thank you for all you do. Absolutely.
Check out the shirt. You said warriors.
Yes, they doing it, man. They making it happen. Come on now. We got Dr. Maya. We got Janice Fleming. We got Cynthia. We have a lot of women in Hartford. Gloria Herena, who passed. Mm-hmm. We have Tricia Johnson, an attorney. We have Stan's wife. A leader. In her own right. We have a lot of powerful women that make things happen for us. And we can't be afraid of their energy and the knowledge and the power that they bring to the table. We have to embrace it. And so we can continue to grow and learn. So, salute to all of our sisters and our moms.
My mantra is teamwork makes the dream work.
You better believe it,
get
man.
around it.
Teamwork gets the job done.
Teamwork does make the dream.
Yes.
Does make the dream work. Well, it is time for one of those unapologetic, selfless, or how do you say it? Shameless self-hype. We'll be right back.
You know something? Hartford's strength is the people. They're independent thinkers and love their city. So how did Hartford fall into the hands of rogue policymakers? Well, to start, this rogue group spent nearly $1 million putting themselves on the inside and leaving you out in the cold. What if I told you that $5 can be the difference between a Hartford with hope and vision or a Hartford that is in perpetual decline, increasing crime, and an educational system going nowhere fast? Your $5 contribution to our team is a statement that you are investing in Hartford's future. Your $5 contribution to McCauley for mayor will make you a member of the team, and together we will explore the possibilities. More than that, you will be demonstrating that Hartford's people are ready to make a stand with Stan. Our goal is to get the support of 5,000 people who live, work, and play in Hartford. I'm asking you to make a bold statement by contributing $5 right now, today. If you believe in Hartford and its people like I do, make that contribution. And together we will show Connecticut that the people of Hartford care enough to do our part. We are ready to pick up the ball and run. The people of Hartford are back in the game, and we're in it to win. My name is J. Sam McCauley, and I approve this message.
I was shocked and appalled when I heard him say that. I was like,
Hi.
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Oh, yeah. Where else can you have this much fun? It's Morning Talk. J. Stan McCauley here with the champions of talk. We've got Cacique. We have Dr. Maya Bowen. And we're rolling right along.
Hey, family, I just want to say, all right, if you didn't see that commercial, I want to remind you that we have the one and only J. Stan McCauley for mayor. Let's make it happen. He's from our community. He's one of us. When he comes to your door, call your friends. Let's have some things happening out in your backyards for him. Let's have some community meetings. Let him know some of the things, some of the concerns that you have, some of the initiatives that you would like to see brought forth. And let's have a discussion about that. At least you have his ear. So Stan McCauley for mayor. Stan McCauley for mayor. You heard it right here first. AccessTV.org. Stan McCauley, next mayor, City of Hartford.
My name is J.C. McCauley, and I approve that message.
And that was completely unrehearsed. And that's how we're rolling. We're keeping it real right here, man.
Keeping it real. I had to throw that tagline on there just in case someone says,
That's beautiful.
Someone says, well, you're using your program as a campaign mechanism. Well, you could do your own program. I'm not stopping anybody from doing a program.
And you can't stop me from promoting.
Right.
I can say, I'm not saying nothing bad.
No. It's my show. We do whatever I want.
That's what I'm saying, man. We're throwing a party right here, man.
Right.
Do whatever you
But listen,
want.
let me do a little self-promoting, too. The Taino Chess Club. I want to thank all the people that have come all the way from Hartford to support me to play chess, to spend money out there. It's great to see y'all. Please keep coming. Bring your friends. Taino Chess Club, 1020 Farmington Avenue, Berlin. Thank you so much. And I want to shout out.
I'm swerving that lane. I want to Smart Strategy LLP.
That's what I'm talking about.
Us.
Bring it, Dr. Maya.
2020 Smart Strategy LLP at gmail.com. Absolutely.
I like that.
Let's handle your technology needs.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Hey, can you give us that one more time, Dr. Maya, just in case?
Yes, it's via email 2020 Smart Strategy LLP at gmail.com.
Y'all get that and reach out, man. Reach out and get yourself set up with Dr. Maya, man. Get it right. I want to shout out the great Lou Brown. Lou, good morning. I hope you're doing great. I want to shout out my brother Cleve Royster and his wife Jackie Royster. Hi, Jackie. Good morning. They doing great work down in Virginia, and Chuck Cummings and Jackie Bethea and all of the wonderful people, man, that are not here with us because they moved down south. We miss you and we appreciate all the work that you did. And I just want to recognize that Eddie Griffin won a championship up here at Buckley. He was been a leader all the time he was up here, an incredible man. And a lot of other people, man. I remember Kenny Mink, who's passed now, went down south, and he did well down there for a couple years. So, yeah, shout out to all the people that have left Hartford, that were here, that did some incredible things in the community. Like I said earlier, we miss you, and we want to say thank you, and we're grateful for all the things that you did. So have a great week, family. Yes.
We got Rick Torres here. Says all of us. This mic is in the way here. There we go. All of us and our community would benefit greatly from a detailed explanation of how reasonableness is determined in use of force cases.
And thank you for that, Rick, because I really think you should be the next chairman of the police review board, or even the new, because they keep giving them high-paying jobs to these
Inspector
people.
General.
Rick Torres should be the Inspector General. He's a former police officer. He's a former chair. He has experience,
right?
And he's not going to be intimidated by these rogue cops. I guarantee that they're not going to run up on Rick.
Right? And wasn't he with the state police?
He was a state police.
That's right.
He worked at they have many different branches of the state police, and he worked for one of them. But he was he was bringing some good stuff when he was with the Civilian Review Board. We need him back. We need people like Rick because he's knowledgeable and he's fair and impartial. Can I say that again? Fair and impartial, knowledgeable. Write those words down and see when you speak about the other people that are on there, can you use those words to describe them?
Did you know Richie Rodriguez?
I did know Richie Rodriguez.
Richie was a cool dude.
his sister Christine is like my sister. Her kids, they tell everybody I'm their dad, because I was very close to Christine. We were close friends. We did some political things, and we were coming up together. We were struggling. We were trying to do the right thing, and so we formed a beautiful relationship to this day. I did know Richie. He was a gallant officer, like they say.
Yeah. He was the president of the Harvard Police Union for
But he
for
had
a time.
different ideas too, and he was open-minded.
Absolutely. He did a training, use of deadly force seminar. It was 2 days, and he made sure that there were 5 people from the community attend that. He got a lot of pushback, as you well know.
From the officers.
Right. But I was one of them. And I always said that if I ever became mayor, that I would make sure that seminar was available to the people of Hartford. Because it's something that folks need to see so that they can understand what actually goes on. And it's
educating.
It's
educating.
And also, I'm glad that you're bringing this up. And Dr. Maya agreed with you. It's educating. It may be the wrong type of education, because when we look at stuff like that, it also gives us insight into how we can do better by looking at that. So I definitely agree that should be something that should be offered. Even the police department and the fire department should have videos online.
Absolutely.
About first aid.
That's all part of communication.
And that is all part of communication.
Which the city does very badly.
That's how you reach out to the community. But you got to have people in leadership that understand that and will come here and say to Stan McCauley, Stan, how do you feel about this? Dr. Maya, you're an educator. How do we roll this out? How do we present this? Does this make sense? They got to communicate with people out here first, because the police department work for us. We don't work for them. And we just always have to make sure that part is always clear. You work for us, we don't work for you.
Absolutely.
And you have to do what we say. So if we want you to change this policy because it's dangerous to the community, then that's what you do. You don't question that.
Absolutely.
You do that.
Well,
So
I see. I'm applying to work for y'all. And I say this across the board. For everybody that's out there getting ready to cast votes down the road here, when you have elected officials, they're applying to work for you. Don't think of them as, you're lucky to be in their presence. Like the air, they breathe a special air and they're going to share their air with us. No, they're coming to apply for you. They're not royalty. They're not kings. They want to come in the front door and sit down in the chief seat. What? Help comes in the back. You want to go around the back and come in, we'll greet you in the back. No. Guests come in the front door. Now, if they're your guests, that's fine. I'm not saying that to be disparaging. I'm simply trying to put the role back where it belongs. The constituent, the voter, y'all. People are applying to work for you. Think of these debates and things like that as a job interview. A job interview. Ask the tough questions and demand answers. Don't let candidates say stuff to you like they reject the question. That's an automatic. No, you can leave. Thank you. Interview's over. Just like they do when you go to a job and you answer the question wrong, they end the interview right there. Right? Well, we're trying to get a job working for you.
Well, I just want to say this, Dan. To all the people that are running for mayor in Hartford, if you're listening, I know you are. If you have any respect for yourselves and for this community, you'll remove yourself from running and announce that you're supporting Stan's candidacy, because he's not aligned with any political party like that. He has to be there because either Republican or Democrat. That's how that's how the process works, right? But he's not aligned with them. He's not part of that. And we need to start making room. And this is the perfect time. You see how he put Trump in jail? Now we got some people, some big shots in Connecticut that may be going to jail. And who knows? It could be some mayors involved in this.
He might go to jail, but they didn't put him in jail yet. Just
No, he may go to jail, but
Right.
the fact that he was arrested and he was put through the process is a
Right,
good
right.
look for regular people in America.
Mhm.
Because it really does show you that in this country,
now he's one of,
nobody's above the law.
right now he's one
I
of
like
us.
that.
Now he's actually one of us.
Yeah, and I like that. And now, listen, Diamantis and these other people involved in the Chris Dukes case, y'all need to step up and come forward, because if you don't, and it later on we find out that you was involved and you was hiding information, we're going to demand that they throw the book at you.
No mercy.
No mercy at all. So come forward, do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Show some remorse, and the community will work with you. We will, you got to do your time or whatever. But when it's time, we're going to step you back, and we will, in the words of Dr. Maya, we will re-educate you, so you can be a productive member of society again.
There you go.
All right,
I like the way you swerved that in there.
Dr. Maya, come on now. I'm learning some
Absolutely,
stuff from you here,
absolutely, right?
You're never too old
No.
to learn, Dr. Maya.
So your final words, Dr. Maya.
Final words. I would like to salute Shelly Carter for becoming the first Black woman in New England, not only in Connecticut but in New England, to
Beautiful.
become chief fire.
Fire
The
chief.
chief
Fire chief.
fire. No, I'm sorry. The first Black woman to become fire chief. My
There we go.
apologies. I stand here. I'd rather sit here corrected, but honors go out to her in terms of setting the precedent, as well as honoring her in terms of all that she does for our youth, our women, young women who would aspire to become firefighters themselves. And I want to just shout out her being the founder and executive director of Girls Future Firefighter Camp, and the website for that is girlsfuturefirefighterscamp.com. So for all that have young girls that are interested in possibly becoming firefighters, contact one of the best that's doing it right now. And Shelly Carter, salute to you.
All right, my friends. Our time together has come to an end. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Do something for yourself and your neighbors. All right. And if you stay to the very, very end of the program, you'll hear the new hit single, Vote for Stan. Ciao.
Peace. Peace.
Hey, Hartford, Connecticut, I'm talking to you. We gotta get out and vote. Vote for Stan McCauley. It's our time. We gotta rise up and take it back. Vote for Stan McCauley.
Vote for Stan. You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah.
It's more than politics than just what your social covers. And it ain't somewhere written down in bold letters. Don't just take my word for it, do your research. Think of your future, look at your bigger picture. Shooting tie, clean up, unity for the righteous. Plotting on action, hands on access. With a light source vision, door to door knocking. Guerrilla style marketing, brainstorm as a collective. Real neighborhood suggestions. Only we know what it is where we living. To make real life decisions. Move on facts, make it manifest back.
You gotta vote for Stan McCauley. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Vote for Stan. Oh yeah. Look at your city. Stop. Take a look around. Is opportunity flow into your house? Are you working? Wait, can you save some money? And is your neighborhood safe? Or is it a homicide every night?
My name is Marlon E. Styler Sr. Many of you may know me as the two-time welterweight champion of the world. I'm here to tell you that Democrat J. Stan McCauley, as our next mayor, will fight for you until the last bell. Help me throw a knockout punch. Go out and vote for Stan the man.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I approve this message.